Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Jack and Glenn channel. Before I get started, not you, you already started because you clicked on the video. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell notification so you don't miss any of our reviews. I want to talk a little bit today about Domynique and Mackinley. Man, this thing was doomed before it started. Ray Charles could have saw this one, wasn't going to work out. And it's for multiple reasons, right? In this video, I just want to explain, give you some of the reasons why this relationship didn't work. Leave your comment in the comment section why you think it didn't work. But here I go. One of the first reasons I want to say this relationship did not work because Domynique and Mackinley was that Domynique never applied for the show herself. Her mom did, which means that she didn't want to be a part of this thing until the ball got rolling a little bit later on, until she got selected, until she got picked. Her mom didn't fill out the application properly. You knew who your daughter was. You know what your daughter likes. You knew your daughter was a 25-year-old young lady who likes to party. You knew your daughter was the 25-year-old young lady who was stubborn and pig-headed. You knew your daughter was a 25-year-old young lady who's looking for a father figure, not a man with structure, or a man that is established, as she mentioned. Mom filled out the application. That should have been a red sign for Married at First Sight. If someone fill out the job application for you and you get the job, you're less likely to stay at that job because you didn't fill it out in the first place, right? It's take this thing like I teach my kids. When you have ownership of something, when you purchase your own car, when you buy your own house, when you get your own apartment, when you take ownership because you did it, not somebody else who did it. Your mom did it. And then she got long in the process. She was like, "Oh, you know what? I might want to be on this. I get to be on TV again." Maturity level. They say she's an old soul. Old souls don't mean you're mature. And I'm not saying 25 is young. I got married at 23, been married for 21 years, going on 22. So age is not the big difference here. You have to be mature in your mind. So the biggest thing was that mom filled out the application for. Domynique bought into the process later on. That to me was big red flag number one. When I found out that she didn't do it, big flag on Mackinley's side is that this guy he came from California to Nashville to be part of the show. They were incompatible, right? If you not only look at her mom filled out the application, but you look at the age gap, right? Yeah, she wanted an older man, 34 years old, 25 years old. I'm sorry. 34 to 25, that's a big difference, right? 9 years makes a big difference. I'm not sure that anybody on Married at First Sight, if y'all can remember, have this 9-year gap where their marriage survive. In most relationships, in most marriages, most people are not getting a 9-year gap. So Married at First Sight, I believe, set this couple up for failure in the second place. Number two was that the fact that they had a 9-year gap. This marriage was doomed because of the 9-year gap. It is 9 years. You have a young girl who's 25. She basically, if you think about it, should be graduating college or just now getting out of school. Guy who's 34 years old should be establishing his career, moving and doing things in the right direction. They're not going to mix, man. That is not a good combination for a relationship. I'm sorry, y'all can disagree with me in the comment section. Their mind levels or their mindsets on a totally different level. Yeah, he's supposed to be established, and that's what she wanted. But again, you got to be able to communicate. Reason this marriage was doomed from another reason that this marriage was doomed from the start is that fact that she loved the stripper more than she loved her husband. She was more involved with the stripper at her bachelorette party than she was with Mackinley the whole time doing what we saw on Married at First Sight. Yeah, he was an introvert. And that distant Dr. Pepper, Pastor Cal, stop putting people total opposites together. If somebody likes to stay in the house all the time and they don't like to go out, and there's somebody who's always a party and don't like to go out, they're not a combination. You can't throw this together in the experiment and expect it to work. How many times have we seen couples who are polar opposites and they expect to work? It does not work on this show. I can't remember, unless you guys remember, any couple that were polar opposites still staying married, right? Those that are still married to today, I believe it's 13 couples that are still married from Married at First Sight. Those 13 couples had something in common. They were not polar opposites. The polar opposites that they always put together on the show get divorced. Another reason that wasn't going to work out, they're polar opposites. It's not going to work. You have to have something in common. Something got to be in place. McKinley and Domynique, the introvert extrovert situation. A guy who likes to chill and home, and a woman who likes to be, is just not there. But another reason that you knew the thing wasn't going to work, because she wouldn't let my man speak. Right? He had a no. Let me back up. She got tired of him speaking, because every time he spoke, he was lying. You cannot build your relationship on a lie. I'm not blaming Domynique for the whole thing. McKinley has a role in this as well. When you're on a honeymoon, somebody's asking you, your sense of honesty has to be key. When you first meeting somebody and you're stepping your foot out there, or you putting yourself, they're getting to know you, you shouldn't build your relationship on lies. And what McKinley did, he built the relationship on lies. Well, I can ride a horse, I can do this, I did that. She couldn't trust my man anymore. Stop lying, right? Trying to impress. He said that was his defense mechanism. Your defense mechanism shouldn't be lying, right? Your defense mechanism should be telling the truth, giving the person your true self. You're married less than a week, or you're married 4 days, and you're not giving the person who you truly, really are. And that's what he did. He messed up by not giving her his authentic self by lying. And she messed up here in this situation by not compromising, making him feel comfortable, taking some of his suggestions, taking some ideas. If y'all remember on the honeymoon, he wanted to just lay on the beach. She's like, I didn't come to Jamaica just to lay on the beach. I came to Jamaica to be adventurous. Well, guess what? It's 24 hours in a day. In this relationship, or in this marriage, he shouldn't just be doing what she wanted him to do. It should be a compromise in a mutual agreement that goes to her immaturity. In marriage, it is a give and take. We are different people, yes, but there's some things that you like that I don't like. There's some things that I like that you don't like, but there have to be a compromise. Guess what? We can go lay on the beach for an hour or 2 hours, and then we can go have adventurous time, jumping off cliffs, rappelling, riding horses in water, whatever. Has to be a compromise that's there. And she could not balance the compromise, because she wanted to do what she needed to do in order to be happy and to be thrilled. And he could not keep up with that. She wasn't willing to compromise with him, and that's another reason why I was doomed. There was no not willing to compromise in their relationship. They have to be willing. You have to be willing to compromise in the relationship. Domynique McKinley was not able to compromise. Another reason that this marriage was doomed from the start is that she did not like the fact, the big elephant in the room, that he did not have his own place. Now, there's a lot of people on Married at First Sight who didn't have their own place. They was in the midst of transition, right? They were transitioning from one job to another. They were transitioning to the city, or they were it is there. If she would have just communicated with the man, and he said, look, I've moved here just because I wanted to get married. I moved here because it's a place for me. I got friends here, but I'm willing to commit to you, and we can build this thing together. Let's not worry about where I'm at now. Let's worry about where I can be at in the future with you. We can work this thing together. I think the basement thing was just a scapegoat, the fact that she didn't really like him in the first place. Because if she was willing to be committed to marriage, whether your spouse is in an apartment, whether they're in a basement, whether they're renting a room and have 4 different roommates, it shouldn't have made a difference if we're married and we're trying to build this thing together. Because after 8 weeks, I'm moving out of the basement. You're not moving into the basement. Even I'm moving into with you, or we're getting a place together. The basement was a scapegoat. She can't look at where the man was prior to marriage and expect him to still be there, because those are conversations you have in marriage. What would we like to do? We see this all the time on the show. Shoot, Bennett and New Orleans were living in a tiny house, right? But he ended up moving to Richmond, Virginia with Amelia. So again, there is a growth in the relationship. There's a process, and she could not see it. Some of that might have to do with maturity. Some of that might have to be just with growth. Some of that may have to do with we don't know her dad. People leaving her life, right? Dad may not be around. She's seen people who are transient. She's seen people who hop up and move. I don't know. But that was an issue. That was something that really was a trigger for her because of the inconsistency in his living, in living status. That helped doom the marriage, but McKinley did not help her did not make her feel comfortable about what it could be after the marriage, and that was another reason that this marriage was doomed from the beginning, because of his living situation. You guys, let me know what you think, man. What doomed this marriage? Was it some of the things that I named? Could you think of anything else that doomed this marriage from the beginning? On Married at First Sight. Once again, leave a comment in the comment section below. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell notification. Make sure you check out some of our other videos. But again, Domynique and Mackinley was doomed from the start because you had 2 people who was incompatible, that didn't want, and yeah, I know. Some of you said it was the race issue. The race issue didn't doom this relationship because it had nothing to do with race. So I want to kill that elephant in the room. Had nothing to do with race. Had a lot to do with the other choices they made leading up to this. Race wasn't one of the factors. Well, leave a comment in the comment section below. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell notification, and I'll talk to you later.